All right, hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Anthony, and in today's video we're going to talk about statistics, responses, and the boy who loves starfish. So we're going to jump right in, and I want to look at two statistics. I want to start off with that. One I'm not going to really focus on that much, the first one, and that statistic is 30 to 40 million people worldwide are enslaved today. Right now, as we speak, 30 to 40 million people. Now that's a huge number, but I don't want to stick on the worldwide statistic because we're here in America. Fight Coffee is starting here, and we want to fight human trafficking here. I would love Fight Coffee to go around the world at some point, but as we said, right, crawl, walk, run, and even before then we got to get birthed, right? So anyway, I want to look at the statistic of how many people are being trafficked or are slaves here in America. And so that number, we don't really know what the numbers are, but it's estimated somewhere between 250,000, maybe up to 500,000 people are being enslaved right now in the United States. Now, how do you process that number? How do we process that many people being enslaved in the land of the free, the home of the brave? I mean, it's crazy. It's hard to think about it, and it's certainly hard to process. But picture, if you will, a football stadium, right? A professional football stadium. Average somewhere around 60 to 70,000 people in a stadium. Just kind of close your eyes and look around and picture all those people, right? Even when you're on TV, normally you just see just a portion of the stadium, and that's just like a ton of people, right? So imagine that, if you will. Picture that. Now, multiply that by 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get up to 4, that's somewhere around of 250,000. Double that, we're around 500,000 people. All right. Now, picture, if you will, 1/3 of the stadium. That's the children's section. The average age of those who are being violated, 13 years old approximately. You got 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds who are being victimized in 1/3 of the stadium. You got a stadium for every time zone, right? I mean, it's just crazy. So let that hit you. And why? Why let that hit you? My thought is so it can move you, right? We need to be moved. We need to be moved, So that being said, there are various responses because there are many people who hear these statistics and are not moved at all. They don't do anything. They don't respond at all, right? And there are some good reasons, and then there are, I would say, some really not good reasons. But I just want to take a quick second here and look at some of the various responses that people have when they hear either this statistic or hear about humans trafficking in general, right? First of all, you got the buyers and the sellers, right? So they're on one side, and their response is, hey, let's keep this train rolling. The more the merrier. Let's do this. That's their attitude. On the other side, you have the freedom fighters, right? The abolitionists, the people who are like, oh, hell no. No, somebody's got to do something. Sign me up. You got these people. All right? And then you have a lot of people in the middle, right? So on the one hand, the people who are perpetuating it, on the other hand, the people who are fighting it, and then in the middle, you got the multitude of people who aren't doing anything at all, right? And it's kind of to those people that I really want to speak to, and hopefully we can get some encourage, some movement towards the freedom fighting side of things, So think about why some people don't respond. One is that people get triggered when they hear this, right? Especially women, right? Because 1 in 3 women statistically are violated sexually in some way. And so it's easy to understand why some people, they get triggered, they shut down. It's just to think about this. It's just to relive what they experienced, and that's traumatic. And so they don't do anything. It's understandable. No judgment, right? Then you have the people who are shut down by their own burdens. So many people, it's not trafficking is their issue. They were never trafficked, but people are going through some stuff, and it's all they can do to survive with what they're going through, and to think about other people is just too much. It's too much for them. So they do nothing. And then you got the busy people people whose lives are just crazy busy. If they could only slow down. It's not that they don't have a heart. It's just life is just taking them over. And so at the end of the day, they hear about it, but they do nothing. And then you got the people who feel worthless. They're powerless. People who want to commit suicide, right? They feel worthless, like, who am I and what can I do? And so, being in that place leads them to, do nothing. Again, no judgment. We're just talking about the various reasons why people don't do anything. And of course, then you got the callous people, right? Of course, they're not going to do anything. That's just easy. Yeah, that's not my problem. Oh, well, life is hard, whatever. I've been through hard stuff. I guess it's their turn. Callousness, right? So they don't do anything. Or, it's somebody else's responsibility, right? It's not my job. I'm not a police person or whatever. It's not my job. So there's nothing that I should be doing here. Don't look at me. All right. And so they do nothing, right? And then, you have people who have another cause. And this is so valid, right? I mean, I know a woman whose husband died of ALS, and I would see him every week at church. And over the months, you could see him deteriorate until he passed. And brutal way to die. And if this woman decided never to give any money to human trafficking because she wanted to give her money to fight ALS, I mean, that just makes sense, right? I mean, that makes total sense. We can't have everybody fighting one cause. But that's the beautiful thing I love about Fight Coffee. If you drink coffee, you can kind of have two causes, and it's really easy. But anyway, so, people who have another cause, it makes sense that they don't do anything. And then, of course, you got those people who know so very little, right? They may have seen something on the news once or twice in their life, and they think, how bad could it be? I mean, of course we know bad things happen, but they don't know the extent. So they're not moved to action because they think these are just a few isolated cases from a few sickos, and I'm glad they got arrested, and I'm glad they're doing time, and hopefully there won't be any more of this nonsense, right? So they do nothing. And then, of course, you just have the people who know nothing at all. I mean, how can someone who knows nothing do anything, right? And what I'm curious about is if people only knew, right? I mean, when I didn't know, I didn't know. So I didn't do anything, right? How many people, once they know, are going to do something? I think that's a lot of people. I'm positive in my belief that I think that there are tons of people that if they only knew, they would do something. But because they do not know, they do nothing. All right, so here's my question. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more scenarios we could probably go through, but who's left? I mean, who's left to do anything? Who's left to care? Who hears the cries and is going to respond, right? I mean, obviously, we don't physically hear any cries, but people are crying out. People are broken as they are not in physical chains, but they're chained up. They're slaves, and they're crying out. Is the best we're ever going to do 1%? I mean, if nobody else responds, if nobody else joins the fight, I mean, 1%, that's the best we're doing to rescue these people. 99% have no hope. So anyway, this is where my story comes in. The boy and the starfish. So you got this kid, and you know these types of kids, they love dogs or cats. This kid loves starfish. He's got actual starfish in his room. He's got the bed cover. He's got the drapes. You know what I'm talking about. He's got the little lunch pail, and he's got to have the starfish. The parents are online. Thank God for online, right? Because they can shop and get this kid everything starfish, right? So this kid goes to the beach with his family, and some freak act of nature causes all these starfish to be washed up on the shore. Okay, so parents know right away, oh well, so much for this kid playing and having fun on the beach. So he goes immediately and he starts tossing in the starfish, right? He's working his way down. Now, there's no way this kid can, get all these starfish off the beach. He could be there for weeks by himself. He's not going to do it, right? So there's this old man who sees him kind of working his way towards the old man, and the old man figures, I'm going to help the kid out. I'm going to impart some wisdom to this kid, right? And so he goes and he says, kid, you see how many starfish there are, right? He's like, yeah. He says, so what difference do you think you're going to make here? And without hesitation, the kid bends down, picks up a starfish, throws it in, and says, it'll make a difference to that one. Bends down, picks up another one. Without looking at the man, throws it in, says it'll make its difference to that one. Does it again. the old man gets the message. The old man who thought he was going to be the teacher becomes the student, right? Because, yeah, we can't change the world. No one person can change the world, but we can change the world for one person. I believe everybody can do that. We can change the world for one other person. If it's only one, it's worth it. But the thing is, and just imagine if the parents came along and helped. Imagine if his little sister came along and she joined in. Imagine if other people were sitting around, and they got off their beach chair and they got out from under their sun umbrella and they were like, I'm going to help this kid. I see what he's trying to do here. Many who previously would have been content to just see the beautiful starfish, maybe pick him up, hold it, they're like, oh, wow, yeah. And they're inspired by this little kid. They see his heart, his compassion, his dedication, and they're moved to action. That's what I hope maybe this video will do. That's what I hope people will do. Their lives, and certainly it's true, right? Many people who are doing something are inspiring others. But the thing is, we're not talking about starfish. We're not talking about, a fictional story. The reality is that there are millions of people being trafficked, hundreds and hundreds of thousands here in the United States. Ben Franklin said, justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Let me say that again. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Keyword, outraged. You don't have to have been trafficked. You don't have to have gone through hell to be outraged when you think about children being raped 10, 20, 30, 40 times a day, 7 days a week. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I just hope this video spoke to you. I hope you'll share this video. And the thing about sharing, I'll just say this real quick. The thing about sharing is you never know who you're going to share it with. You don't know. I mean, of all the people who don't know, if you share it with someone who doesn't know and now they know, you may start a fire in somebody, just by simply sharing. You may not be as passionate. You may have another cause. You may have a justifiable reason why you're not going to fight human trafficking. But why stop there? Well, okay, I have a justifiable reason, therefore I'm not going to say anything. By simply sharing with someone else, you could get a ball in motion, and who knows what that ripple effect may be. So it's just something to consider. Please share, whether it's this video or just the idea. People need to know. And perhaps consider joining the fight. Again, this is why I love Fight Coffee. It's just, we make it easy. If you drink coffee, just drink Fight Coffee. We'll give 100% of the profit to fight human trafficking, right? If you don't drink coffee, make a donation. We're going to have a spotlight organization of the month. Just visit once a month. Give $1. If we could get 100,000 people to donate, right, once a month to an organization, man, that would be 1.2 million just from $1 donations. That would be huge. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there you go. That's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching, and I really do pray that you'll join the fight, and we'll catch you in the next video.